Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Anime King. And I'm back with a brand new episode, part 3 of What If Naruto Was Muzan, guys. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual, share this with all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels if you're new. Yes, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Villain in the DC Universe, so go ahead, check out that over on Anime King 2, guys. And also, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 more channels: Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime Symbol, Anime Prince, guys, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. All of the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. So without further ado or wasting more time, how about we jump right into this brand new episode? Let us begin this now, guys. So, the last part that we left off, we get to see Naruto create the 12 Kizuki, powerful immortal demons that rule by his side. As they were going to rule the lesser, they were going to use his blood to create more, to find what he desired. Unfortunately, though, it seemed like the last Blue Sister Lily was gone, and all the information that was on it was destroyed when Kaguya had enslaved the world and turned a large portion of the population into white Zetsu. Naruto was frustrated, but he was there though on the death of the sage. Yes, the sage took his final breath as Naruto was there, reminding him that he was a frail, weak human. But the sage told him that humanity would never give in, it will never give up. His death, his final oath, sending shockwave across the world with his words alone. The blades were crafted and made over time. The information and location about them was specially guarded. But our story returned back to the 2 young warriors, Hoshirama and Madara, 2 boys trying to unify the world after so much chaos. They were able to put their differences aside as they heard many things about the past. They tried to work together to put a stop to the abominations that roam the darkness at night. 5 great leaders came together. Hoshirama was amongst them. Madara is his number 2. You had the Raikage, the Mizukage, the Kazekage. All of them were there. They were losing. The demons were getting too much. They needed more blades. It was the operation that was secured by Konoha and the Uzumaki clan, and they needed more, much more. The demon numbers seemed to be almost unending because they could simply remake. And due to their special healing, their blood demon art and their rootlessness, the lack of, tiredness that came from them, they were too dangerous. The world had to unite under one foot in order to survive, because if they don't, they will all die. We then get to see Naruto after all these years. The grip of time had not touched him in the slightest. As we get to see the 12 Kizuki, none of them had perished, as Naruto had offered them a lot of his blood, making them a lot stronger than the rest. They were absolute, they were powerful, they were incredible. Some years pass by, as we get to see Konoha trying his best to thrive within the darkness. In a world like this, where cooperation was needed, Madara Uchiha never truly turned back to the dark side, as Zetsu was trying to find the opportunity to manipulate him, but at the same time, hiding from both sides. Yes, he was. Hoshirama married Mito and had a child. as their child went on to have his own. In these times, well, children were growing fast. However, before that child was born though, a mad doctor working with Tobirama had stopped what he was doing, but the man refused to listen and went on with the operation. He kidnapped the woman and injected her. It was a vial of Naruto's blood that was passed down through time. They truly did not know the full origins, but they knew that it was important. He was trying to create the perfect force of rebellion from the demons. A child that had the resistance of the Uzumakis and the Senju. To be empowered by the blood would be truly dangerous. The doctor was executed by Tobirama himself. When the day came for the child to be born, the mother did not make it, but the child was brought into the world with unnatural eyes. When the child was born though, he came. For the first time, Naruto stepped out, making his way as he walked into the village. The 12 Kizuki, causing damage and destruction as he became the plague of destruction as he walked. He went straight to find little Tsunade. That is when her father arrived, Hoshirama as well. Naruto was going to consume her until he felt something. He had other plans and purpose for her, as she would be his salvation. He left when questioned if they would not just get rid of the child so that he would not perceive and win. He don't believe that they would do that. He saw the look in their eyes. As Tsunade was raised, Madara Uchiha being one of her trainers, being so close to the family, he was an uncle to her. She looked up to him. But it was that night. She was around 5 years old when she had that first dream. When she saw him, she didn't know who he was, but she woke up screaming. When her father heard how her dream was, it terrified him down to his very soul. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across and play check out for yourself. So as we begin this new episode. Another dream. She was 10 years old, but she's had these dreams for the longest time now since she could remember. Tsunade Senju was sat down by her father. Takeo had decided that it was time. Tsunade, he said, what I'm about to tell you is going to change everything that you know about yourself. She looked at her father. Within the comfort of her home, she was not wearing the special ceiling contacts, exposing her red eyes. But she already knew what this was about. It's about the man in my dreams, isn't it? He flinched but nodded. Yes. And why you are different? She took a breath. 10 years ago, he said, before you were born, there was a doctor who was obsessed with trying to find a way to fight the demons. He believed by infusing. He looked at her for a moment. Demon blood into a human. He could create the perfect soldier to defeat them. Tsunade blinked. Demon blood? Your mother was 6 months pregnant with you when he kidnapped her. Her father's voice broke as he said that. He injected the blood, doing procedures to ensure that it would follow straight to the unborn child. The blood of the demon king. Tsunade's eyes widened. The demon king? Your mother survived what was supposed to be a transformation, but she never transformed. All of that was shifted to you, making you different within the womb, changing you in ways that we didn't know what was going to happen before. Her eyes, she couldn't believe what she was hearing. So, I'm a demon? She had her suspicions. She heard things about the demons, but she never saw their eyes. The only other eyes that she ever saw was the man in her dreams, and his eyes looked like hers. However, demons could not walk in the sun, so that was confusing. Now she was terrified of herself. No, Takeo said, you are human, Tsunade. You're my daughter. You don't crave blood or flesh. You don't burn in the sun. You're not like them. You're something new. Something better. There was already tears running down her face, terrified that she might be like one of those monsters that has done so many horrific things. But the man in my dreams, their king, he's connected to me, isn't he? Because of the blood. Yes. Naruto. He can sense you, and you can sense him. I've watched and I've seen. It seems that the connection between you two has been growing over time. She clenched her fist as she looked down, demon blood inside of her. What does he want from me? We don't know. But we won't let him take you. I promise. He said to her. He saw the state that she was in as he pulled her into a hug, holding her, securing her, telling her that everything was going to be fine, that she was going to be safe. Time skip. Izuna Uchiha, named after his beloved younger brother. He was born in a time of peace. A child who wasn't there for. What was there before? All that chaos, all that blood, all that craziness. Madara Uchiha has changed. Fatherhood has softened him somewhat. Being a uncle to Tsunade as well. Everything had changed him. Madara never went back down that path of darkness. Despite there being so many openings for him to do that. The constant demon threat. Old grudges seem so unimportant right now. Izuna and Tsunade was raised together. From a young age, they were best friends. Where she was bold and reckless, he was calm and thoughtful. Where she charged forward, he always had a plan. They balanced each other out rather greatly. They sat together under the Senju compound, watching the stars. He's talking to me now, she said. In my dreams, he whispers that I'm special, that I belong to him. Izuna frowned. His Sharingan, so young and yet he was so powerful, seemed to activate out of worry. What did you say back? I told him to leave me alone, that I'll never join him. She clenched her fist, but he smiles, like he knows something that I don't. You should tell your father, Izuna said. No, he already has enough to worry about. Grandpa too, I can handle this. Tsunade, promise me you won't tell them. Promise me. He released a sigh. I promise. But if it gets worse, it won't, she said. She believed that this was something that she must be able to do as well. Every time she told them, they seemed to grow more concerned, and she hated that. She hated that with everything she had, worrying them, making them feel sad all the time. Especially now knowing that she was responsible for her mother's death, despite how many times her father and grandfather and grandmother tried to tell her that it wasn't her fault. She felt responsible. She told her best friend everything about this. Days after she learned it, he never looked at her any different. He believed that she was who she was just a bit different. As she wasn't like those demons out there, wasn't like those monsters. That is why he was her best friend. Izuna promised that he would help her through it no matter what. However, while they remained secured in their home, the world outside the 5 great villages were dying. Konoha, the sand, Kumo, Kiri, the stone, all of them were going strong, them and some of their allies. The location of the blade manufacturer was still kept a well-guarded secret. But the minor villages, you had entire minor villages that were slaughtered. Remake and change. Weak. The numbers growing. While none of the recent demons were strong like the ones that Naruto created personally, the numbers kept on growing as he was doing this, pushing his plan upwards because the years were going by and Tsunade was growing. because she was important to him, important to his plans, important to the reason why he never took her when she was younger. Every week, new reports came in. Humanity was being pushed. All the powerful villages tried to make it seem like everything was okay, but most people started to notice that travelers and movements on the outside were getting less and less and less. Naruto army was growing, and humanity was losing ground. It was bad. As for Tsunade, with her contacts, her secret was kept safely guarded. The other nations knew that he attacked Konoha. It was the first time that any of them had ever seen Naruto, the king of the demons. They knew that he was a threat unlike any they ever faced. They've captured multiple demons over the years, but no demon could ever speak his name. No demon could ever release a simple bit of information about him. They couldn't even say his name without risk of complete destruction. And that was all that they got. They did not really know anything about him. They knew that he controlled all the upper moons. He was immortal, everlasting. But that was all. They knew nothing else. They knew that he's been around since the time of the Sage of Six Paths, because of what he had said to the first Hokage. They had no idea about Tsunade though, as Konoha had pretended like they did not know, considering that there was only a handful of people that knew that Tsunade had demon blood inside of her. The villages would demand that she be executed, because for whatever reason that the demon lord might want her, it isn't good at all. So she was kept a secret, trained and grown. She was kept a secret. Over the next 6 years, Tsunade became a powerful individual. She went on numerous missions inside of the Land of Fire, never leaving the border, never exploring outwards. Only a select few ever truly leave the border, despite how big the village was. Then again, Konoha alone was massive, and the Land of Fire was like a continent for itself alone. Tsunade had grown phenomenal. Her strength was already impressive when she was younger, but now it was monstrous. Her chakra was unlike anything. Her chakra was alive. It twists and turned. It almost moved like blood. Sludgy, slow, dangerous, wicked, and there was a horrible sensation to it. She healed broken bones. She healed slashes that would take hours, in mere seconds. But the dreams never stop. Every week or so, the dreams came to her. She told her best friend, as this individual pretended like he owned her in the dreams, like he knew the future that she did not, like he was responsible for her, like she had something for him. It was just the way he interacted with her in the dreams. At the moment though, she stood tall. She had grown into a rather beautiful young woman. As she and Izuna were given a joint mission, an escort job into the Land of Fire, deep part of the Land of Fire. This will be easy, he said, as the both of them made their way. The small settlement village was nestled between a road and, well, a backwater area. It was small but comforting and inviting, due to the clients being unable to move like them. By the time they got there, the heavens were darkened, painting the sky in a beautiful shade of orange. The villagers greeted them warmly. Supplies were also delivered along with the two individuals that they brought. Everything got there perfectly. Night fell though. Tsunade didn't know why, but she had this sensation. She could feel it. It was in the air. Izuna, she said. As she started to walk, he followed her confused. What's going on? Where are you going? He questioned her. But he did follow her though. Over the years, many demons saw it as a challenge. Their blood gave them one rule. Well, more than one. And what not to do. It was ingrained into their very system. There were certain things that they could not say or do. But most of them decided to challenge it. The 5 great nations, especially some of the minor ones, believing that they were untouchable. It was hard to sneak into these places, hard to get in. But these weren't any normal, idiotic demons. They seemed to have more sense than your common demons. They got into the village by taking the backwater area, which had a slope that led to a special underground facility. A place that has been condemned and covered. It was when war plagued the land. But the place was condemned until they found out about it. It was a good thing that they were here. The demons came in quickly, fast and dangerous. They wanted to prove something, as they heard that the flesh within these villages tastes so much sweeter. It was just a way for them to amp themselves up for something. It was when she smelled the blood. Tsunade could smell it from a far distance away. Izuna saw them, moving, quick and dangerous. There wasn't any hesitation, there wasn't any moment of confusion. Despite this being the first time seeing one of them with his eyes, in real life he knew. A fireball jutsu was launched, stopping the abomination in its tracks. The flames engulfed one of the demons, swallowing it, but it burst out of it, laughing, until Tsunade appeared in front of it though. Her fists caved its chest in, but the contact that she made with it, she felt something strange. She didn't stop though as she grabbed its face and smashed it into the ground. Whenever shinobis left the village, they were given special blades just in case. But the blades were indeed special, hard to craft and create. Thus they were kept properly sealed. He wasted no time as he unsealed the blade, moving in to try to take its head off. But Tsunade, her grip slackened on the demon as she felt something. It knocked her back and regrouped with the other two, only for all 3 of them to pause. When they looked at her face, truly looked at her. No, it can't be, one of them said. Her eyes. The contacts faded away, showing her true eyes underneath. It showed just who she is. The realization shocked them and terrified them. This girl was off limit. We have to run, one of them said. As they looked at each other, seeing black veins turning red under their skin. Boom! Their heads exploded, shocking the two. One after another, their heads exploded. And unlike normal demons that could regenerate from that, they started to disintegrate. What the hell? The 2 friends stood there confused, not understanding. Izuna stared at the ash piles, a Sharingan trying to understand what just happened. I don't know, she answered this question. They looked at me like they recognized me. And then they died. I thought demons couldn't die by your conventional means. He said confused. It's not like they hit them with any jutsu or any explosion. This was rather concerning. When they got back to the village, they got the mission done. Reporting this, several ninjas made their way to ensure that that location was never breached ever again. But this was terrifying to know that the demons were getting brave and bold. Take will listen to his daughter. Minutes later, Hoshirama, Tobirama, they arrive. Madara not too long after, hearing about his son's encounter with a demon. However, this was not all. The realization This was bad. Not only did the demon get that far, however, it was a realization to see how much Naruto wanted Tsunade, making sure the demons wouldn't attack her. It seemed that the very action of going after her was forbidden, causing their deaths. What does it mean though? What does he want with her? They don't know. That night, she was unable to sleep. She was 100% sure that she did not close her eyes. But she found herself in that location. He sat there on that throne. But this was the first time she could see him so clearly. No whispers, no movement in the shadows or anything. She saw him. The leader of them all. Tsunade did not run though. She was 16 years old now, stronger, more confident. "It's you," she said. "You can perceive me fully." "That's good," he said to her. "I've waited a long time for you to grow into yourself. What do you want from me?" What does any father want? Her blood ran cold. Father? You're not my father," she said. "Aren't I? It was my blood that created you. My essence that made you what you are. You exist because of me. You're the king of the demons. A monster." "I'm not a monster," she said. "No. You're my greatest creation," he said to her. She clenched her fists. "I'll stop you. I'll kill you and every last demon you create. I won't let you hurt a single other person. That's a promise." He laughed. A cruel, wicked sound. He seemed rather amused. "That is not your destiny, Tsunade. Your purpose isn't to fight me." He started to walk towards her and she could not move. "It is to join me. You are perfect. The bridge between humanity and demon. A key step in my evolution. A key step in me reshaping the world and everything beyond. I'll never join you," she said. He smiled. "We'll see about that," he said to her as her eyes snapped open. She woke up screaming. For the first time in a long time. Her father rushed down the halls, making his way, tearing the door open, trying to calm her down, but she was thrashing around, her eyes still not fully adjusting. She hit him by accident, and he was sent sailing through the wall. She got up and ran towards him, apologizing over and over. But he told her that it was okay. She cried, something that she hadn't done in a long time. Not only for hurting her father because she was afraid. She was truly, genuinely afraid. Time skip. In the depths of his castle, Naruto seemed to be meditating as he was just sitting there calmly. Tomoyo knelt before him, her eyes looking rather filled with concern. She was one of the first she was. The broken girl that he turned into something powerful and loyal. "Master," she said, "how long will you wait? They've learned to forge more blades, train more warriors. Every day they grow stronger. Why not give us the order?" she said. Naruto's eyes focused on her. "Patience, Tomoyo," he said. "But don't worry," Naruto said calmly. "Things are proceeding just as how I see them." "Forgive me, Master," she said. "I didn't mean to question you." He stood and made his way, gazing at the open area, looking towards the moon. "For centuries I've searched for the blue spider lily, every corner of this broken world," he said, gazing out. "And now after all these years, my goal, my task is right in front of me, but not as a flower," he said. "The girl, Tsunade Senju," Tomoyo said. "She's the key to everything. The bridge between my limitation and soon I will have everything I desire." And then there will be no stopping us. We will not just take. It will be domination, he said. Weeks later, the 5 leaders were gathered once again. Hoshirama Senju and the others. They've done a lot, trying to find and eliminate the threat to them all. We have intelligence, he said. One of our operatives was able to infiltrate demon territory and send back critical information before he was killed. About their leader, the Raikage questioned. About one of his bases, Tobirama corrected. It is more important than the others, given the hundreds of demons that are guarding it. We believe that this might be where he's located. So this is it, the Kazekage said. After so long, we finally are one step closer into putting an end to this threat. If they took Naruto out, well, all of this would stop. After all, he was their leader. Without their leader, they would scramble, and the nations would wipe them out. He was the only one keeping them together and making more. They need to kill him. He was so mysterious and dangerous, so powerful. It gave the demons a sense of control and dominance. But without him, well, they will wipe them all out. They weren't taking any chances. Special forces from all nations. The numbers going into the hundreds, splitting. It was the first time that they were armed with so much blades, due to how long they took to craft and specialize. The blades were hard to come by, but this wasn't a normal operation. And they weren't alone though. Tailed beasts were also being brought along. Except for Konoha, all the others brought one. Konoha military force was stronger than most. Madara and Hoshirama were a force to be reckoned with. This was their chance. This was the first time they had true information on where to strike. And if this was successful, well, it would be wonderful for them all. No one would be there in the day. And that is where the humans had a disadvantage. However, they center their troops and surround the location within the day, hiding and preparing and scheming. When night came, the demons started to arrive. More than just a few. All of them split into groups, being led by respective leaders. Every single one of them had said goodbye to their loved ones, hoping that they would come back alive. While sending out so much of their military might was dangerous. If they had an opportunity to end this tonight, they had to do it. They had to risk big to get the big reward. They had to. It was the only way. They were able to arrive, and what they saw made them sick. Humans that were captured from villages were used as cattle. They were used as games for the other demons. It seems like they were celebrating, like they were actually partying. The strike forces rained down upon them with explosions first, causing ruckus and destruction. Immediately, they moved through the army, blades being drawn, heads being severed. This was one of the main reasons why the Jinchurikis were trained, to control their tail beast's power. The fusion of chakra explosions in tiny bomb form caused more ruckus than anything else. The side of the massive castle-like location was blown open. The demons scrambled to regroup as their bodies were blown apart. Inside, chaos erupted. Demons wild and crazy, smelling the stench of so many humans. But the humans were ready. Jutsus, blades, lightning, all sorts of things. Blood painted the ground and sizzled away. It was violent, chaotic. However, the true main thing that was here tonight was one of them, the upper moons. It was a woman. Her name was Daki. She was beautiful. Her hair, white as silk, her eyes crimson and beautiful, her features immaculate. "How dare you," she said. "How dare you attack my master's fortress? This place directly belongs to Naruto. It is a place that he's visited more than once. That is why it was so popular. And due to the location of it, it was surprising that the humans would go this far. But the one human that sacrificed his life and his group to send the information back had made it this far. She proved why she was something else. Her obi came out. They became razor sharp as she tore through humans like they were paper. Fall back! It's an upper moon. We need to..." She snapped his neck, tearing another apart. "I'll kill you all," she said. Her fascination with her master, wanting to prove herself in any way that she possibly could. The numbers were alarming though. As the two powerhouses started to arrive, her brother emerged from her, despite her saying that she did not need him. "Let me help you," he said. He looked rather sickly, yet, those sickles in his hand, he was a force of nature. He teared through around 20 shinobis within a blink of an eye. It was terrifying. Unnaturally so. Gyutaro was a force of nature, and he showed that with each move that he made. That is when the two heavy hitters arrive. Wood style. Wood dragon. It separated them as they jumped apart. As Madara Susanoo blade tore through her obi slashes like they were made of paper. The force behind his slash, powered by those godly eyes of his, a Sharingan tracking every movement. Madara immediately jumped into the sky as Hoshirama changed the entire location, forcing all the other shinobis to get back. A massive forest erupted. The two powerful shinobis worked together. "You fools," Daki said, as she stood on her brother's shoulder, moving like they were connected as one. "You're both going to die today," she said. And she meant it. The two demons fought with violent, ferocious ferocity. But Madara and Hoshirama, they refused to give up. And once the place was clear, they let loose. Madara split the entire castle, forcing Daki to lose her cool. What he did to the castle, to her master's home. The battle was ferocious. Hoshirama created over 10 copies of himself, as they all surrounded the area and trapped them into a massive wooden dome. The battle, as the two were relentless. No other wounds than those blades could kill them. They were dangerous. But Madara and Hoshirama, they weren't about to waste this opportunity. They would see that this comes to an end right here and right now. However, as Madara severed Daki's head with the blade, in fact, she didn't die. Madara's arm was broken. Believing that she would, he left himself open for a split second as her brother kicked him as you could hear the sound of his bones snapping, blasting across the area as he was caught by Hoshirama. The realization shocked the two ninjas as they wonder, could they truly not die? However, they started to put two and two together, realizing that maybe it was their connection, their bond. Maybe they had to sever their heads together. That was much easier said than done. But as Madara empowered himself, his Susanoo ribcage surrounding him, they went at it once again. And it was the first time since ever the elemental nation score a victory like this. The upper moon, their heads were severed at the same time. However, back in Konoha, Tsunade felt it in her chest. She didn't know what it was. It was late and she should be sleeping, but their respective family members had gone out to battle, so she and her best friend were sitting. Izuna asks, "What's wrong?" I don't know. Something just died. I can feel it. She didn't know why or how deeply she was connected. Within the castle, Naruto's eyes open. He could sense them. He could sense them. He could sense their death. It was the first time that mankind has ever accomplished something like this. Minutes later, the remainder of them arrive. Naruto summoned the others. Akaza, all of them. As they stood there, they were surprised as well. They felt it, just like Tsunade, showing how much deeply wrapped up in all of this she was. For the first time in century, humanity has killed one of you, said Naruto. They've grown bold, confident. They believe they can win. Naruto's smile, a cruel, wicked smile. It was only because of him why humanity has not been going at a full-blown war by now. Keep in mind that demons did not need to rest like humans did. He could have his demons rain down upon them relentlessly, but Naruto wasn't allowing that because he had his reasons. And it all tied into Tsunade. Before, it was just amusing to see humanity struggle, a promise that he had made to the sage that humanity would fall, suffering. But now, all of it was tied into his future goal and his rulership. The problem was, humanity grew cocky. And Naruto, someone that always wanted to be seen as number one, given the way he was raised and never been given a chance, he proceeded to make an example. Over the next week, humanity celebrated. For the first time, they took down an upper moon. This has never been done before, showing the might of this generation, how powerful they were. Unfortunately though, just a few days after a grand celebration, it happened. 3 entire counties wiped off the goddamn map. Not just destroyed, erased. The upper moons together, not one by one. They descended like gods of death. Kokoshibo turned an entire village into demons with Naruto's blood. A massive army that swept across the countryside. Doma froze the entire town solid. Its inhabitants frozen into beautiful ice structures, dead and perfectly preserved. Akaza challenged the strongest warriors in the mountain village to single combat. He killed every single one of them, displaying their bodies as a warning. Gyuko turned the entire merchant village into porcelain, figurines. It was a special art decoration, as he called it. It was probably more gruesome than the others, the way he, put their body together in his little pots. And the last one split himself into his multiple clones of emotions as he drove an entire village mad. It was catastrophic for all. Humanity had won the battle, but they lost the war. The news about the massacre reached the villages within days. It reached Konoha. Thousands dead. Tobirama said, "Entire village is gone. We call it a victory, but they call it getting even." They killed 2 of the upper moons. 1 if you look at it the way they did. And in retaliation, they killed thousands. Even though the villages were being protected by some of the great Nisha ninjas, they were also slaughtered as well. Tsunade learned about this. Despite knowing that it wasn't, she felt to be blamed by all of this, knowing that she was connected to the monster that gave the order to do this. The news split across the nation as everyone that celebrated on that day now felt horrible, as they were able to see consequences of their actions. If they didn't fight, they die. If they fight, they die. They start to wondering what was the point anymore. That night, Tsunade didn't want to sleep. She tried to fight it, training, trying to get pain to focus. But even slamming her fist against a wooden pole proved to be useless. And once again, as she sat down, her mind was forcefully pulled in. She saw him. Why? Why did you do that to those people? What the hell do you want from me? She screamed. I didn't kill them. Humanity did, by daring to strike at me. That's insane. You can't blame them for defending themselves. I can't. Well, I can. They attacked my forces, killing two that I personally turned. That has been with me for a long time. I can't say that their death saddened me a lot. But they were important because they were strong. You're a monster. You don't even care about the ones that you turn, do you? You're just a cold, heartless monster. Maybe I am. But you are just like me. I am nothing like you. And I'll never be anything like you. Naruto smiled. And that's where you're wrong, he said. Right now you don't understand what my goals are because you're still refusing that part of yourself that you know is right. I'll never accept you. I'll never join you. I'll kill you, she said. You have no idea how far I've come, Tsunade. How long I've waited. And the moment you were brought into this world, I knew that you would be my salvation. You will be the one to give me what I desire for all these years. Naruto said, smiling, as he was walking towards her. Come to me, he said. She gripped her head. Come to me. Come to me. Her eyes opened up as she pulled herself up. She seemed so hollow. Her father, still awake. Concern swept through him every single night. It doesn't matter how old she gets, he still sees her as his little girl. Tsunade, what are you doing up so late? Was it the nightmare again? Tsunade, can you... He reached to touch her shoulder, but she backhanded him, breaking his nose. He gripped it as he slammed into the wall. Tsunade, stop, he said. But she moved through the window and leaped on one of the buildings. She started to run. She couldn't fight it. She couldn't stop herself. As she reached the edge of the village though, she gripped her own hand and dig into her flesh. As blood poured on the ground and her hand was healing, she digged down even deeper. She screamed in her mind as she slammed her foot into the ground, cracking the earth. Her body collapsed like breaking glass. She seemed exhausted and tired. I won't. You can't control me. Far away, Naruto smiled. He wasn't upset that she broke his control. In fact, he was happy. Impressive, he said. She broke through the control entirely. Kokushibo, who was nearby, questioned him, should we retrieve her, master? No, this is perfect. She's stronger than I thought. More willful. More valuable. He turned and looked at the moon. She will come to me eventually. Not because of force. Because of want and need. By the time her father got to the border, where the gates were, he saw her on the ground bleeding. Well, the blood was still there on the ground. showing that she was indeed truly different. Or maybe this worked with her emotion. Her nails were still digging into her flesh. She looked up with tears in her eyes, terrified to even look at her father, terrified by what she had just did. Time skip. For the next few days, she did not talk, refusing to look at her father, despite him never blaming her, despite him loving her despite everything. But the more time passed, the more guilty she felt, the more horrible she felt knowing that it was her fault. Why her mother died, why her family had to sacrifice so much. Because, unlike the other nation, they had a monster right in their grip. And if the world found out about her, they would perhaps turn against Konoha, believing that they were keeping a monster safe. Because that is what she was, right? A monster. She hurt her father, the man who has done nothing but protected and keep her safe. She was a monster, an abomination. She felt it when those two demons died because she was a part of them. She was one of them, and it terrified her to her very bone. Meanwhile, Naruto was pleased by her strength. It was simple why he hasn't consumed her yet. Tsunade wasn't a demon. She was more human than demon. Yes, a big part of this is because she's been resisting what she truly is. Because she hasn't fed on anyone yet. But that wasn't it alone. Consuming her as she is, Naruto believed that the process would fail. That is what he felt that night when he was trying to do so. Because she was mostly human, yes. But she was also demon. The good thing was, the more she grew, the stronger she becomes. That is why he was so pleased that she was so strong to break his compulsion. Other demons could not forcefully go against him if he wanted them to come and do his bidding. It was the control that he had through their blood connection. She, on the other hand, she was powerful, showing him that her cells, her DNA, everything about her would bond with him, including her ability to walk in the sun, because she was not just human alone. She was a demon that could walk in the sun and behave like a human, even eat human food. However, she needed that push. At first he thought it was just to break her, making her experience loss and pain, but the more he started to observe, watch her in her dreams, the more he started to think about it, it wasn't that. She grew stronger like a normal human, but he could feel it every time she visited him in her dreams and he visited her. Her strength is far beyond what she knew, but she held back subconsciously because she was afraid. But tonight, she shattered her father's nose, showing just how powerful she was with just backhanding the man. Naruto could feel it all, showing how deep their connection was, showing how truly special she was. To be quite honest, Naruto did not care that much for the upper moons. Yes, he did find them to be useful, but his main reason of creating majority of them were to find what he needed, well, except for Tomayu. At first she was just an experiment to see if he could do it, but Tomayu was different from the others. She wasn't a part of the upper moons. She was special, different. She was the first, so maybe that was the reason. He had this special place for her, his first successful creation. She did not fight like the others. She knew his goal, and she pledged her life to his a long time ago after he gave her the one thing that she desired. It was like signing your soul over to the devil. You had years where she broke down, rejecting what she was, but she always came back. She always apologized. She always bowed down to him, proving to her master that she was still who she was, that she was still the person that he turned. But what Naruto truly desired, what he wanted, was for Tsunade to excel. He wanted her to pass this limitation that she set on herself. However, normal force did not get the job done. It wasn't just about training or getting angry. It was the way her body worked. She was truly indeed special. However, now that she's shown that she was stronger than he thought, it was time that he gave her a little test to see just how special she was, knowing that he was moments away. As to him, years were moments. He's been alive for a long time. He was moments away from getting what he finally desired, to walk amongst the sun. The sun has become a feeling of weakness for him for the longest time now. At first it was his weakened body, and he told himself that he would never be weak again, but now the sun was a constant reminder to his past. Even though he killed his own father and his brothers, the sun still bothered him. Time skip. Her best friend tried to cheer her up, but Snedy was not in the mood to talk. She trained, she pushed herself. She tried to get stronger. She tried to get more powerful, so that she could one day be the one to stop this monster. She trained her mind, her heart, her soul. If she even had one, she questioned herself. Was she even still a human anymore? It didn't matter how much time her father told her that it wasn't her fault. She still blamed herself relentlessly. And she pushed herself to the end and beyond, when she realized that she can go even beyond because her body had no limits. Tearing muscles, doing damaging effects that would take others weeks or months to heal. It was only a matter of seconds for her. I know I would find you here, she saw as he made his way. What are you doing here, she said. It was Aizuna. He looked towards her with a smile. Just checking on you, he said. He was her best friend. It doesn't matter what she was going through, it doesn't matter how much time she pushed him away. He always find a way to return to try to help her in her weakest moments, trying to show her that everything was gonna be okay. But this wasn't something that she could get over easily. This wasn't something that she could just see and put aside. Just go, she said. I don't need your help. I think you do. How about a little training? She sighed but relented. The problem was she was going a bit too hard. Yes, she was going a bit too hard as she ended up slashing him. She was surprised that her nails flux and twist in a way that she was confused. However, it was the blood. For a moment she felt this compulsion until she shook her head. Next time, take it a bit easy, okay? He said to her. I'm not your enemy. However, the realization of what she just felt confused her. As she realized that she had wanted to bite into his flesh. The thought terrified her. Get out of here. What? I said get out of here. Come on, Snedy. I know I said get out of here. Leave me alone. She shouted harshly at him, pushing him away. Go, now! He felt something stir in his own heart. He was the son of Madara Uchiha, a prideful, powerful Uchiha, and yet, around her he could show his soft side, but he was just trying to help, and this hurt him. Her reaction, everything hurt him. He left. She dropped to her knees and cried. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about him. It was what she felt. She was terrified of herself, and she didn't want to hurt him because she cared about him more than most. She cried where she was. This time though, she closed her eyes after a couple of hours. She was the one that forcefully entered that part of her mind. And she arrived there. But this time it was different. She walked straight up to the throne and gripped Naruto by his shirt, pulling him to his feet. She slammed her fist in his face, but it did not budge him. And again and again and again. This was the first time she was touching him. You monster! I won't eat them! I won't become like you, she said. Yet he barely reacted. Yet he barely responded. It's okay. He reached to touch her, but she slapped his hand away. It's not okay, you freak. You abomination, she said. I'll never be like you. Never! He smiled. That infuriating smile that made her so angry. You're starting to feel it, aren't you? That taste. That hunger. You're wrong. I'm nothing like you, she said. I don't eat people. I'm nothing like you abominations. You're right. You're nothing like them. You're like me. Special, unique. The first of your kind. He said as he appeared behind her. He sunk his teeth into her shoulder and wrapped one hand around her face. Soon enough, he said, you will be great. She couldn't break free as she saw the opportunity. She bit his hand, forcing him to release her. But he seemed to enjoy every moment of that. Snazzy look as she saw her face. The ground was reflective. She saw the blood. She saw her true features. Her skin writhing and twisting. She screamed as she jumped up. Opening her eyes in the real world, she felt the taste of something in her mouth. But it was a dream. It was a dream, she said. Back with Naruto, he looked at his hand as he saw the bite mark. And he smiled. Wonderful, he said. But guys, I'm going to be ending this right here. If you want to see the next part, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm over for now. Peace.